Yeah, this is Biosphere, and Biosphere. That's the last unit of your syllabus, as I was explaining. Here you have the whole unit. Let's have a look at that first. We want to study about the whole tube is there. And organizational levels of biosphere, there are different organizational levels, as this explained here. You can see individual, population, community, ecosystem, and biosphere. That's how the level goes on. We are here, individual, under Padmasri. It's a kind of Homo sapiens sapiens. And then the second, population. The population part is a bit detailed. It's an elaborated part. You have to study more about the population, community, and altogether, like individuals together make a population, populations, two populations together make community. The community, along with the physical environment, abiotic environment makes the ecosystem, and all the ecosystems together make the biosphere. Could you please read out this organizational level as a kind of exercise? Yes? Could you please read out?
Individual,
Individual,
population, community, ecosystem, biosphere.
Right. Excellent. Thank you. Individual, population, community, and biosphere. So the individual is not a detailed one. You know that it is a kind of one person, particular individual of whole biosystem, like Mangifera indica, Mangifera salonica, the mango tree in your garden. It's an individual. Like when go to the population, each individual together make one set. That's what we call the population. And the population together make community. Different organ or populations together. That population, you consider the population a certain individuals, the number of individuals in a particular time in a limited area, in the particular area. For example, the elephant population in Sri Lanka in 1970. So you have to indicate. Let's learn one by one, along with the notes as well. So this is how it goes on. Again, I will tell you that number of individuals in a particular biographical area to a particular period of time. Number of elephants in Sri Lanka or in Minneria forest in 2020, the whole 1 year period. So together with that, populations make the community, and the community indicates that populations are there, but there should be an interaction between these organisms. The ecosystem, as you can see, that it's a combination of those individuals, populations, and then the physical environment, as it explains. Then the biosphere. That's biosphere is a combination of like all lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and then the organisms, the biosphere together. So there you got the first part. Growth of population and growth curves. That's what we want to study in detail. I mean, we have to study about the detailed lesson on the population. How the population in a particular biographical area increased, decreased, we'll go and after studying about this population, this is a natural growth curve of the population. It's a very popular area for the examiners to set the paper. How the certain certain species of organisms introduced to a certain environment and how they developed. Are there any difficulties for them? And then a rapid growth, and then the stability level or stable position is there, something like this. And then this is what happened to the people. No natural growth curve. This is the natural growth curve. So normally for a species in a particular area, right? If you say, if I select an island and I'm going to introduce 20 um, deer population, 20 deer population, and so they are not adapted to that new environment, a little bit of fear, and what they try first is just to live and get the protection and get the food and get adapted to the particular new environment. And later, after they established that particular environment, they started their next function, that is to reproduce. Now they are free, to live there. So then their growth, the population, number of deer will be increased. The deer cubs will be there. The little ones are there. They grow up and they reproduce. Likewise, their population is increased. You know what happened? When the population is like increased there, suddenly the predators appear. Maybe the tigers or the the predators that eat them appear, and then their population is controlled along with the number of populations of the predators as well. When this is like here, but it's just like a wave. You know, when the tiger population is increased, deer population decrease. When the tiger population decrease, the deer population increase. Something like that's a wave. Right, we'll learn about that one. And this is what happened to the people. Actually, this is the growth of the population, human population. It's increased after the Industrial Revolution, because when the people live in the jungle, they also had threats. They also had to face lots of difficulties like spreading diseases and so and so. But after the Industrial Revolution, they came up, they overcame the number of difficulties that they have that caused by the environment, maybe cold environment and so and so. So the next step after studying these individuals and then the population in detail, next step is to study about the mechanism involved in uh, maintaining the equilibrium of ecosystem. Equilibrium, the balance of the ecosystem. There are different mechanisms that we want to study, like food chain and food web. Food chain and food web. Food chain is one. Flow of energy and nutrients for food chain. So we have food web after studying that. And that is the first step is to study about that organizational level, and second is to studying about the equilibrium, how the equilibrium of the environment takes place. And then when we go to next, biological pyramids are there. We study about the energy flow. This is biological pyramid. There are three types of pyramids: number pyramid, biomass pyramid, and energy pyramids. So we study about the number pyramids. The number of organisms. There are two types of pyramids. We'll study about them later, and then you have the biomass pyramids. The biomass pyramids are there. The biomass pyramids indicates, you can see how the particular biomass in the particular community increased, right? How it is increased. So we'll go to the next one, biomass pyramid, and then you have energy pyramid. Energy pyramid. the energy goes on when the producer has certain amount of energy. Say how the amount of energy that receives the top level one. Next, energy dissipation. Energy dissipation. What happened to the energy that that particular organism has? You know, the 10% is passed to the next level, and this is people's story. So then we move to the third level of our lesson. The third level is to study about the biogeochemical cycles. That's the third level, third step of our lesson, right? There are different types of cycles in the ecosystem, in the along with the organisms to circulate the things in the environment. Among them, we have the carbon cycle, and then among we have the nitrogen cycle. Carbon cycle, this is, we will study about how carbon cycle takes place there. And then we have nitrogen cycle and yeah, carbon cycle and nitrogen cycle, that's all. The last step of our studies is to study about the different environmental pollutants and their effects environment to the ecosystem, and that's environmental pollution. Environmental pollution may be soil pollution, water pollution, and air pollution. So soil pollution is there, and water pollution is there, air pollution is there. So we are going to study about them. As you can see, there are factors affecting environmental pollution. There are different factors that affect the environmental pollution, right? Factors affecting the environmental pollution. As you can see, agrochemical waste these days is a very common topic. It has been between among the politicians and different organizations, right? It has become. Yeah, people are still coming. I have to. Yeah, agrochemical waste, right? What are the agrochemical waste? We have the timely topic: chemical fertilizers, weedicides, insecticides, fungicides, agrochemical waste. What are the things we want to study? We have agrochemical waste and industrial waste, greenhouse gases, heavy metals, particulate matter, domestic waste, electronic waste, and nuclear waste. We don't have the problem with the nuclear waste because we are not using nuclear power still. And this is agrochemical waste. You know, how they come, and thanks to the government policymakers that they have decided to minimize the agrochemical usage in the country. But anyhow, there are some issues. You know, the farmers are in trouble finding the solution for their cultivations, as the particular fertilizer is not available in the country itself. But you know, we want to discuss when politicians backing up these innocent people to come onto the streets and fight against the government decision to have the artificial fertilizer again. But you know what? When your dearly ones are missing due to the chronic kidney diseases, the kidney dissolvements, and the cancers. Okay, the reason for this one is not our fault because of the food that we eat and the foreign market we lose because of the artificial fertilizer. Discharge of industrial effluents, as we discussed that we have industrial waste here. So we're going to learn about the industrial waste in detail. There are industrial waste hydrocarbons, how these hydrocarbons are added to the environment, and emissions of greenhouse gases. That's the third one, our point. Greenhouse gases are there. So the greenhouse gases means what and how they are added to the environment. Our next one is the heavy metals. Accumulation of metals in the environment. Mercury, arsenic, chromium, cadmium, lead, copper, manganese, zinc. These are then. And particulate matter. There are so many particles in the environment like lead, carbon particles, heavy metal particles, ash, dust, asbestos. Liquid particles are there, water vapor, liquid organic particles, mercury vapor. And domestic waste are there, food, scraps, spoiled food, plastic, polythene waste, discarded clothes, and so and so. And next is the electronic waste. But it has been a little bit controlled now because Parna Tahadu, Parna Besam, Parna, that the people come with the loudspeaker announcement. Actually, for them, it is their effort to clean up the environment in one way. You can have a rupee, but rather than having a rupee, it is a very great service to see that all these electronic wastes are being collected and sent to the recycling process. It's very good. There are so many things that because of this, the rechargeable batteries and all, they are added to the environment. Nuclear waste, we don't have nuclear waste because we are not using the nuclear power. Domestic chemical wastes are there, and yeah, materials added to the. You can see that the number of you have to study. This is caused by food additives. That's one way. There are lots of things. Cleaning agents, this we call swan patches appear in water. Very nice clean environment has been totally destroyed. Medicinal waste are added by food, domestic waste, cosmetics, paints, effects of environmental pollution. So when environmental pollution takes, we studied about the environmental pollution. If you can see that we study different things here, electronic waste, we went a number of steps back here. As you can see that domestic waste there, we studied them, electronic waste, nuclear waste. And after studying this is environmental pollution. And then we want to study about the effect of environmental pollution. What are the effects of environmental pollution? These are domestic waste, the effect of environmental pollution. Yeah, effect of environmental pollution. There are different effects of environmental pollution like acid rains, global warming. We want to write down them on ozone layer depletion. Okay, so biomagnification, what the biomagnification is, and the electrification, right? That's the end of our unit. And you could understand how long it is, how long it is, right? Yeah, it is how long it is restart. Yeah, that is the biosphere we are going to study. How do you feel that? Don't you think that it is a combination of like 3-4 units together? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
it's a combination of about 3 units or 4 units. I mean, it's very immense, very big, right? They have put everything in, but one thing is there, they are something that familiar to us. They are something that familiar to us. Okay, so right, let's go to the first one. Then studying about the organizational levels of organization in ecology. Individual, right? What do you mean by individual? And let's write down the notes. And I have live streamed up to this one, and I'm going to finish my live streaming here because it is in detail and yeah. Is there anything that you want to ask from this presentation? No?